by the blood of our people are your lands kept safe.
I see in your eyes the same fear that will take the heart of me.
So do all who live to see such times.
By all that you hold dear, this good earth.
There's some good in this world, and it's worth fighting.
Okay, so next up, it's the super fans. This one, we didn't even touch on this. We didn't even care back in the day. They got 4 Instagram influencers to sit around and kind of talk to an audience, answer some questions. But a lot of what they talked about focused on this show being inclusivity. People didn't like that because a lot of people thought Lord of the Rings already was inclusive, and by emphasizing it, what you're saying is you felt it wasn't inclusive, and now you're changing it to be inclusive. And what did you change? Like, what have you done? That was a lot of the reaction. And the fact is, these people didn't really know that much about Tolkien. So this one we didn't even cover. So to us, it didn't matter. It was just a PR thing. People were doing videos on this like nonstop. Even to this day, they're still making videos about this interview or this panel. And guys, it was a PR campaign. I mean, does this matter to you? Did you even watch this?
No, I don't think so.
I didn't send it to you because I didn't even watch it. I turned it on for like a minute. Was like, this is kind of boring. I don't need to be hyped. I'm already gonna watch the show. I don't need a panel of Peter Jackson telling me to watch the show. Right? This is Instagram influencers who have a large fan base telling people to watch the show. It's just PR, guys. It's nothing. These people didn't write the show. Don't listen to them. They don't know what they're doing. So to me, them talking about it being more inclusive does not, like, it's nothing. They could be right. They could be wrong. They have no way of knowing. They didn't write the show. So that's my whole take on that. I don't know why we still get people making YouTube videos. You know who you are out there. Anyway, challenge accepted. Okay, here's one that I think does actually make me mad, and we get a lot of interviews now. I don't watch all of them because, again, I don't need to be hyped. But in a lot of these interviews, they mention that this is the first black elf / first black female dwarf. They say this in every single interview, and they say it's like groundbreaking. Does this bother you? It's starting to bother me because I think that's the wrong thing to focus on.
That is groundbreaking?
Yeah, they're saying it's groundbreaking because we have the first black elf and black female dwarf, and that it's a groundbreaking show because of that.
In Lord of the Rings, though. I mean,
No, they're just saying it as in, like, it is.
Well, it's not even true then. The Witcher. There's a black elf in The Witcher.
Is there?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, so I will say they don't focus as much on the black elf. Maybe someone corrected them. They do say black female dwarf every interview now, still to this day. And again, I honestly don't care. Again, these interviews are not geared towards us and other Tolkien fans / Peter Jackson fans. So I don't think it's that big a deal for them to focus on it. I personally think it's the wrong thing to focus on, and I'm tired of hearing about it. What I would like to know more about are some of these things that are just coming out now that are Peter Jackson. Again, remember, we covered this back in the day. Peter Jackson was supposed to come on as like some sort of producer or even just like a script reader to help them almost not combine it with his trilogy, but make sure that there are moments where you can clearly see that there's a continuity there. And like, it's not going to be official, but at least that way, having Peter Jackson look over this and have a voice that is recognizable would...
Well, and also someone who just knows the books really well and
Right.
is also a talented storyteller and filmmaker.
Exactly. And someone who has changed the books for the better for the screen already. At least 3 times. Maybe 6 times, but at least 3
You know
times.
what? I rewatched them because we've been talking about them so often. And I'm like, I really need to rewatch these Hobbit movies, and I did it, and I thought they were good. Yeah,
I said the same thing a couple months ago. I think I was talking to you, and I said, look, I've rewatched them. I was hatred of them back in the day when they first came out. I hated them. We went to every single one of them, you and I. We got the tickets where we sat in chairs that moved.
We did do that, didn't we?
3D moving chairs, the full experience. Okay, I got everything going for it to make me like these films. And when you strap a freaking GoPro to an actor dressed as a dwarf, I don't like it. Anyway, I have come down that. I actually like the movies. I think they tell a fun story that is not the same tone as the original trilogy, but I think it works for what it is. It's clear that the story was too big for what they really should have done, and Peter Jackson initially wanted to do a 2-parter, not a 3-parter, and I think it was Del Toro was supposed to direct, not Peter Jackson, and then when they were forced to do 3, Del Toro either resigned or he resigned, and then they forced it 3. Either way, there's a confusion there, but he resigned mid-project, and then the studio was like, wait a minute, you're doing 3 movies. So Peter Jackson had to write it and direct it and make another movie all at the same time. So I can see that element to it as well, and that's why I think the movies are not as good as the original trilogy, but I do think they're fun. But that being said, I don't know if I would say that it was a great job at adapting The Hobbit to the screen. I think it was. There's a lot more fan fiction there than I
put it this way. I think the last movie, I thought the pacing was good, but the first 2, maybe that could have been condensed into 1.
Yeah, you're right. I think the Battle of Five Armies, that can be.
And the end of the first movie felt artificial. Like the breakup of the first 2 movies didn't seem.
Yeah, I remember seeing.
It just seemed arbitrary. The ending of the first movie seemed arbitrary.
You're right. I remember seeing it in theaters, and like I knew we had been sitting for a while, but all of a sudden they're just standing on top of this mountain. It's like, that's where we have to go. And it was like, oh wait, are we done? Like, I felt like there's one more piece that was gonna happen.
And that second movie is just Mirkwood, basically, isn't it?
It's Mirkwood and it's Mirkwood and it's
Oh, they do meet the dragon. They do.
Yeah. So it's Mirkwood.
Okay.
No, yes, it's Mirkwood. It's all the way. It's Mirkwood. It's then the
then
town.
It's most of the dragon stuff. The smog guys at the beginning.
That's
of the
right.
First
That's
one.
right.
Yes,
It's all the way.
at
It's all the
last
dragon
one.
stuff. Yeah.
Okay, maybe the pacing does make sense.
So I thought the second one had the best pacing, because the third one.
That was a lot for just
Like the third one has a lot of battle, and then like.
Oh, you're right, because Smog is dead right at the beginning. So
So you got battle with
like,
Smog, then you got this weird moment where all these armies are showing up, then you got non-stop battle, then you got a lull, and then.
Yeah, I mean the fact that the most exciting point in the trilogy was the beginning of the third.
That's right. The dragon is the most exciting, because we've seen the battles before, and they were better in the original trilogy, just because this one had a heavy reliance on CGI. But anyway, I have around. They're watchable, kind of fun. They have their problems, but Peter Jackson for sure has adapted 3 of the books, the original trilogy, onto screen, and it's fantastic. I think they're better than the books, and so because of that, I think having his. Here's how I would approach this particular scene, especially a scene in which you can switch up a character the way he does sometimes, because he wanted to emphasize Arwen more, for example. Those are good. I know that it does have a problem because you don't get enough other elf representation But he had to make a choice, and I think he made the right choice. It's a hard choice. I can see it going either way, but it's a hard choice, and I think he made the correct one. I don't like losing characters that are in the book, but you are so limited in time that you have to really pick and choose who gets cut, because some characters like Arwen, who have like no dialogue in the novel, but you want to make sure that it's established how her character is in relation to Aragorn and her father. Like, you need time with her, and so she's gonna get a scene that is not intended for her. And I know some people had a problem with that, but I actually thought it helped. There's a bit of a fake out there that doesn't make any sense, but that's just kind of fun. But yeah, so I think ghosting Peter Jackson to me is the worst thing they've done. And it's one that, if this show is not as good as I want it to be, or if I watch this and I kind of feel it's just okay, of all of the things that have happened, the ones I think I'm going to be looking most at are Peter Jackson not being involved when they offered it to him and he accepted, and then they basically didn't send him anything. And strangely, the Vanity Fair article where the writers talk about how they are writing they are basically the new voice of Tolkien.